Hello, my beautiful, beautiful friend. Have you been feeling the overwhelm? Have you been feeling just down in the dumps, hot mess mom, out of control kind of life? Let me talk to you. I've been a mess. I've been depressed. I've been overwhelmed. I've been to the bottom of the pits. I almost ended my life because, quote, motherhood got to be too much. But I realized a few things. For one, home management is not equivalent to motherhood. You can suck at one while excelling at the other. Okay, girl, I already had everything I needed to see the good in life in order to succeed, in order to thrive and find absolute joy, and so do you. You can be the calm in the storm. You can set the energetic tone for those around you, for your entire household. You hold more power than you've ever realized. You don't have to do anything. You get to. It is your privilege. It's an honor. It's a divine responsibility to be the queen of your home. It's not a burden. You're in charge. You're the ruler. You're the chaos coordinator. You're in control of how you show up in your own life, and you are the main character of your own story. You are surrounded by abundant blessings, not buried in burdens. You are in the exact right place, mama. You're the exact right mom for your kids. It's not a mistake that you were put together on this planet. Of all the moms across all time and space, it's your destiny, your legacy to be with that child. You have to stop. We have to stop this mommy martyrdom narrative. Misery loves its company, but so does excitement and joy. So let's get excited about motherhood again, about life. It's time for more than survival mode. It's time to rise. It's time to thrive. It's time for you to believe to your core that you are meant to bloom.
Hey, beautiful friend. So glad you're here today. Thank you for joining me again. It really does mean a lot that you keep coming back and listening. I so appreciate it. I so love you. I so adore you. I appreciate you. I think you're wonderful. And keep sending me emails asking me how I can pour back into you better. Tell me what you need. I am open to suggestions. You can check the description below for my email, hello@brittanyclarkson.com. I am happy to start a conversation. Anyways, I'm going to talk about your home today. I feel like decluttering has become this big band-aid solution, and I really want to chat about my feelings and experience here. Um, I feel as though decluttering tends to be marketed these days as this one size fits all solution to the entire problem. And I have to tell you, it's not. It's absolutely not the solution to the problem. It's probably the first step, though. Don't get me wrong, decluttering makes a big difference. It really does. But it's more where you declutter and what you declutter, and just the new mindset you establish about clutter coming out of it that's going to make the biggest impact. But you can't stop at decluttering. That doesn't solve every issue in the house. Sometimes it even creates new ones. Like say laundry pile keeps piling up and it becomes a giant mountain. So you downsize all the clothes. And now everyone only has 3 days worth of clothes before you have to do laundry. So now you have to do laundry and it's going to keep you on a system where you have to do it. But guess what? Now you have to build a new habit of actually doing laundry more often so it's not becoming a ginormous mountain. Now, you could have established that habit without decluttering all of your clothes. And if you're someone like me, and a few other individuals in my family, having a lot of options to wear feels better than being forced to wear from a small selection, you know? Like I have a couple kids that they're cool with 3 t-shirts because those are the only 3 t-shirts they actually like. And then I have another kid who he cares what he wears, you know? Um, So you got to do what's right for you and the individuals in your family when it comes to something like this, for sure. Um, but it's like it's not in and of itself the solution to the problem. But if you are surrounded by clutter, I totally agree with the science and the studies behind it that visual clutter causes anxiety. It's unmade decisions. It's a visual to-do list all around your house of things that you need to do. pressing tasks. And it can make you feel, if you don't detach yourself from this, because there's a way to totally detach from your to-do list and dissociate from the need to do all of the tasks that you feel are asking you to do them. There's totally a way to do that, but that's a lot of mindset work. That's a lot of, psychology reinforcements. That's a lot of changing your mind, when clearing a surface is probably the easier and simpler solution to this problem. In fact, clearing the surfaces might free up your mind in a way that you can train your brain a little bit better to react better when it sees clutter. And here's the second thing that I really, really want to say when it comes to this big decluttering surge that's happening. And I love it. I love that we are getting into this new mentality and this new way of momming, that we don't need a ton of stuff. We're kind of pulling away from the consumerism of like, we just need to buy things to solve the problems. No, buying more stuff is not solving the problems. But also, getting rid of all of the stuff is not solving the problems either, is it? Because the problem was never a stuff related problem. It was probably a mindset problem. It was probably a social programming problem. But anyways, how I feel about this is that decluttering is a simple concept that a lot of people are getting wrong. It's like secondhand information is being passed on, and people are getting confused by this very simple sort of concept. Okay, so I love the way that like I have learned decluttering from Ali Kazaza. I adore her. Her courses were super helpful to me. I know she wasn't helpful to everybody, but again, it's not a one size fits all, right? You got to find the right person who, like there's the minimalist mom, there's the cluttered mom, there's so many. There's a Marie Kondo that might even work for you. There's so many options and avenues and methods that we can use to really overcomplicate this very simple practice of getting rid of what you do not need or want or care about, right? If it doesn't bring you joy, you don't really need it. If it's not useful, you don't really need it. If it's not beautiful, you don't really need it. But it is so helpful to have all these other leaders in the area before you who have made all the really difficult decisions already to help you through those ones. But I don't want to help you through difficult decisions saying that you have to pare everything down as small as you can. You have to get rid of as much as you can. Like, you know what? I'm a big advocate for keep your coffee table clear, keep your kitchen counters clear. Have as much stuff in cabinets as possible. Get rid of the stuff that's in your way that you're constantly reaching past because you don't actually ever use it. That kind of thing. The stuff that you secretly actually very much hate, like get rid of those things for sure. The pair of jeans that you wore in high school that you'll never fit in and they just make you feel bad when you walk in your closet and see them, get rid of that. Get rid of the things that make you feel bad and the things that are in your way, stopping you from doing what's important to do. Okay. But here was the little bit that I think people are getting wrong in a lot of cases. Because I don't hear a lot of people talking about clutter, deciphering the difference between clutter and mess. That is one thing that I have loved Ali Kasaza talking about a lot, is that she's a messy person. I've been in her home. She is messy. I'm not saying her house was like a super messy pigsty and stuff, but it's like when you get it in your head that someone who is decluttered has gotten rid of so many things that their house can't physically be a mess, you're going to fall into this like comparison trap where you're comparing yourself to something that's false and not even real. Like, no. A decluttered house is much more simple to clean up. It is much more simple to do a tidying process when there are less things in the way. When a house is decluttered, everything has a home. That's what you want to get to, where everything has a home. But it can still be a mess. Just because it has a home doesn't mean everything is back in its home every single time it's used. And I think we kind of create this false reality that we're aiming for when we get into decluttering and we don't have all the information, or when we're just being shown images of a decluttered space that is totally clean, dust free, and it's not being lived in at all. And we also get this when we're searching Pinterest for organization ideas, and you're seeing these stock photos of perfectly clean closets and they only have 12 items in them. And you're trying to make that work with your closet that has 1,200 items. It's not going to work because you're trying to build a home for functionality while you're looking at a home that is built purely for aesthetic purposes. You get what I'm saying here? We have to find the compromise. Draw your inspiration from the aesthetic, sure. But you have to realize that when you are living in your home, things are going to be different. It will not be spotless when you are living here, unless you have a personal maid for every person in your family following you around cleaning up after you. It's probably not going to happen. Okay? We have to get used to the idea of your home being lived in. And it can be decluttered and lived in at the same time. And here's how that really helps and how that really benefits is that my kids used to have like literally 1,000 toys, probably. It was way too many toys. And they can't clean it up on their own, but they can sure get all of them out on their own and make a huge, huge mess. All right. My living room is currently covered in toys right now, even though we have gone through and they have access to far fewer toys. It's still covered in toys, but the mess is much smaller. It's a manageable size. Yes, they got an extra 2 boxes out. We have a toy library where they're supposed to get 1 box out at a time. They each have a basket of toys in their own room that they have free access to all the time. All their favorites are always there. But all the sets, the blocks and the trains and the cars, like all the Hot Wheels, all the little people, the dinosaurs, all these things, the board games, they all stay in our pantry in individual set boxes. And the kids, the rule is typically you get 1 out. You put all that away before you get a new one out. They can put away 1 box. My 3-year-old can put away 1 box easy. It's when they get out 4, 5, 6 boxes and things start to get mixed together that they get really overwhelmed when I ask them to clean up. Now I have to go help. It's the same thing for you and everything else in your house. If everything has a place and that place is out of sight, everything in your kitchen, if every appliance in your kitchen has a place and it's in a cabinet, then putting it all away becomes so much easier. And when you don't have more than what you can handle, you don't get as overwhelmed. Like my kitchen used to really, really overwhelm me. I would cry. I would go into like a depressive episode, spiral out of control. My whole life is falling apart because my kitchen is such a mess and I don't know where to start. I don't know how to handle this. That was a regular occurrence for me. That was when like my mental health was really bad. My mindset was really bad. I didn't know how to talk myself out of the negative feelings that I was associating with a very overwhelming mess of a kitchen. Now I have pared down a lot in my kitchen. I mean, yeah, I have, two of every kind of spatula. I have 1 of every kind of pan. I've got a handful of small appliances. One thing that I did that really helped was getting the crock pot express cooker instead of an instant pot and a crock pot and a rice cooker. I think I had like 1 other appliance that it replaced too. I got rid of like 4 appliances and then just got this 1 crock pot express cooker. Takes up far less space in my cabinet. I can fit all of my small appliances in 1 cabinet because I pared them down to a couple of tools that do a lot of jobs. So now I don't have appliances all over my counter that are collecting dust, needing wiped down, just being in the way. It looks cluttered that way, right? But it's not, your toaster can look like clutter when it's on your counter, but it's not clutter because you don't need to get rid of it. It just needs to have a home that looks nice and feels good for you. Okay. That was the big differentiation. I really wanted to make sure that we're clear on here. And I'm not saying that you need to go fully declutter your house in order to get anything under control. But if you have things like, I think it's less effective to go through and do a full declutter of your house. I think it's more effective to build a mindset of not bringing things into your house that you're not actually going to love. Like, be conscious when you are consuming products. And to just get in a habit of being okay with letting go of things that are in your way. If it's not serving you, it's not helping you, if it's actually deterring you from living the life you want to live, be okay with donating this somewhere. I have a box by my front door. Currently, it just has a pair of sandals that are too small for my youngest child. But we just have a box by the front door that we're using to collect, hey, as we're unpacking and we're getting into life here in our new house, what don't we need? We left several boxes at the old house that I still have to go back and take to donations because we just decided on, like 6 or 7 different totes of stuff that we don't need this anymore, you know? And I think that just having a willingness at all times to get rid of what's in your way when it's in your way, that's probably going to get you farther than thinking that you need to map out a whole calendar to go through and declutter your entire house top to bottom. That gets overwhelming. You end up ditching it. And I think if just you create this lifestyle and this habit of constantly letting go of what you need to let go of, that's probably going to get you farther in the long run. Okay. Anyways, I also want to talk about really want to make sure I hit it on the functionality versus aesthetics. Remembering that you are building a home to live in, it's going to look lived in. But also, like, I know your pantry doesn't have to be aesthetically perfect in order to work for you. If it doesn't work for you to like go fill all the glass jars and everything, if it doesn't work for you for everything to be this like perfectly organized version and very clean and matching, if it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you. Don't do it. It doesn't matter if it's pretty. If it's going to be a headache to take extra actions to make that happen, it's not really worth your time. All right. Comparison is going to steal your joy and it's going to screw with your gratitude. All right. When we are looking at everything on Pinterest that is not really plausible, it's not really effective, it's not really made for a family like yours, it's going to steal your joy because you think, like part of your brain is just constantly comparing itself, thinking, where should I be? How should I be? What should my house look like? Stop shoulding. Quit the shoulds. Ugh. Simon, that's kind of a gross word. Can you say that with me? Should. Should. Ew. Ugh. I can't get it out of my mouth now. Gross. Okay. I don't like that word anymore. Anyways, build the life you actually want, the life that's actually going to help you and benefit you and your family, not the life that looks nice on Instagram. Okay. And yes, we have to remember that what you see on Instagram is not a full story. It is a highlight reel. It is a glimpse. It is one corner of a woman's house that she has specifically cleaned up in order to record a reel. That's why so many of the times I keep it real and you see a mess. I intentionally show messes on my social media because mess happens. That's life. Our home is lived in. It is set up more for functionality than aesthetics. And I love it the way it is. I really do. It's undecorated currently. So that's like my next thing is that I get to go through and decorate my house with the dozen boxes of decor from the old house and see what stays and what goes. And that's going to be a fun endeavor. But I just need you to know that it doesn't have to look the way that you think it does. It doesn't have to look the way that anyone else lets theirs look. All right. This is your home and it's great to draw inspiration from others, but it is not great to let that steal your joy and create envy and to create guilt that yours doesn't look the way someone else's does. And I mean, this goes for everything, your home, your hair, your car, your clothes. I pray for you and all women. My heart and my prayer is that you will be so confident in who you are that nothing that anyone else is doing can mess you up and get you off track. Like, I want you to be you as authentically and truthfully as possible. And I think it is so beautiful when women stand up as themselves and not as who they think that everyone around them wants them to be. There's a lot to be said there about setting goals too. I used to fail at setting goals a lot, and it's because I was setting a goal that I thought was like a realistic goal that everyone is setting, like, eating healthier, eating more vegetables, and, working out so many times a day. That's why accountability groups like really just have never jived with me because to me, setting a goal it only works when it's super, super personal. And it's like, hey, this is what's really going to help me right now. Not, what did help, what's helping her, not what do people expect me to get better doing. It's just when it's what you need, your follow through is going to be a lot more impressive and steady. It really is. So if you're thinking that you need to declutter your house just because everyone else is decluttering their house, no, you don't. All right. And you don't have to do a full deep dive, declutter everything just because they say it helps with your mental health, because you can make yourself crazy trying to declutter everything. What's going to get you farther is that mindset of being okay with letting go of the parts that you don't need anymore, the parts that don't help you. And this is true for in your home and in your life. Be okay with letting go of the parts that are holding you back. Get rid of what's in the way. Get rid of what's not creating love and light within you. Okay. I did also want to talk about inattentional blindness. I really did. And I don't know if I have enough time to totally talk about this, but I want to give a brief overview. Okay. I was watching Brain Games with my family and they were talking about inattentive blindness. This is how, like, the magicians come up and they pickpocket you and they're like, oh, hey, look at this spoon. Hey, look, I have your wallet. Okay. So what they do is they draw your attention to something that's not important while they're taking away what is important to you. This is exactly how comparison is stealing your joy. It pulls your attention towards something that looks pretty, something someone else is doing, something a professional put together for a photography shoot. And it's pulling your attention away from what's actually important to you, which is your concept of home, your family, yourself, your self-esteem. Like, inattentional blindness. It's a real thing. This is how your brain works. You pull the focus away from what's really important and your brain gets messed up and you end up feeling lost and confused. Like, I don't understand how you took my wallet. I was right here. Like, I don't understand how my house got to be such a mess. I was here the whole time. I don't understand how my mental health got so bad. I was here. How'd we get where we are now? Like, it doesn't matter how we got here. What matters is that we're going to take care of it now. Okay. No guilt, just gratitude. You're where you are for a purpose, for a reason. I love you so much, friend. And it is all forward from here. Keep moving forward, keep going, keep growing. I am so glad to be on this journey with you. I love you, my friend. Take care till next time.
Are you feeling totally buried in responsibility and burnt out on showing up? Been there, and I created this totally free bundle of resources for you. You have to get the Get Started guide if you haven't already. If you're ready to strip off the unnecessary baggage and limiting beliefs you've been carrying around, if you are so done making things more difficult than they need to be, if you're ready for guilt-free rest and enjoyment in your life, you need the Get Started guide. This instant download is full of my favorite resources: the Mindset Makeover, the Stress Less Toolkit, and my super trendy and adorable kitchen templates to make meals and groceries a little bit simpler and a whole lot prettier. The Get Started Guide is made up of tools and practices to help you cope with stress and anxiety. And because so much of your happiness is determined by your mindset, this instant download is what you need to start thinking about the way that you think so you can overcome what's overwhelming you, take control of your days, and love the life you've got. Get your free download of the Get Started Guide today and get started loving your life. Find it in the description below. And thank you so much for listening to this episode today. Your involvement and your encouragement is so loved and appreciated. If you wouldn't mind doing one or all of the following tiny little favors for me, I would so greatly appreciate it. Okay, one, if you could make sure that you hit the follow button so you don't miss another episode, that's going to benefit you just as much as it does me, maybe more. Number two, if you could leave me a review down below, especially if you're listening to Apple Podcasts, that would be so appreciated. Literally, I cry over the reviews that I read. I love them so much. It makes me feel so deeply connected to you, and it helps others find my show by recommending it to new listeners every day. And number three, be bold, be brave, don't be stingy. When you know something, it's your responsibility to share it with a friend. So make it easy, share this episode with a friend, and if you choose to share it on Instagram, can you please tag me, because I would so love to get connected and to see it, at Britt Clarkson. All right, thanks friend, love you so much. Till next time.